Order. The members for Riverina and Gippsland are continuing to interject and are now both warned. Give the call to the member for Dawson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. While the Prime Minister has been distracted with his divisive $450 million referendum, hundreds of life-saving road projects have stalled at a time when the road toll is rising alarmingly. Why has the Prime Minister 90-day review of infrastructure projects blown out to 170 days and counting?
Order. Prime Minister. Order. Members on my left. The Prime Minister has the call. The Leader of the Opposition will cease interjecting. It's far from helpful. The opposite. Can I call the Prime Minister, and I'd like him to be heard in silence, just as the member for Dawson was heard in silence.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. Well, the member for Dawson asked about the cost of the referendum. But, in fact, half of the cost of the referendum was in the forward estimates provisioned by the former government. By the former government. It was there in the Liberal Party's budget, handed down by Josh Frydenberg. But they just forgot to do it, Mr Speaker. Election after election, they went to elections and said they would hold a referendum. They provided funding to hold a referendum.
Order. Members on my right. Members on my right. The member for Fremantle will cease interjecting. I'll hear from the Leader of the Opposition on a point of order.
On relevance, Mr Speaker, if the Prime Minister's point is that the cost—
Resume your seat. The order. The Leader of the Opposition has taken his one point of order on relevance. The Prime Minister is talking about the funding of the referendum, and I'll make sure he is relevant to the remainder of the question.
In 2007, they went to an election promising a referendum. It's been the Liberal Party's policy ever since. 2010, 2013 they were elected, 2016 they were elected, 2019 they were elected. They went to the 2022 election having made provisions in the forward estimates for a referendum, but then of course they decided no, to oppose it, and then they asked questions about the cost. The Leader of the Opposition, in his interjection across the chamber, spoke with the sort of arrogance that we're coming to see. Said, "You'll find out how much it will cost when you're in opposition to those here." That's what he said. When he said at the dispatch box as well, 100%. Well, they want a 100% increase in cost because they want to hold another one. They want to hold another one, and he just confirmed that across the chamber. Mr Speaker—
Order. Members on my left.
The member for Dawson, asked about infrastructure because there again they didn't make provision to actually deliver what was needed to fund projects. A $33 billion blowout in their infrastructure. Unlike the former Labor government that I must say promised and funded properly the Mackay Ring Road, for example. The Bruce Highway upgrades to the south. The Peak Downs Highway to the west. We funded those things properly. We funded them, we built them, we made a difference and got it done. But those opposite, of course, were big on promises, but they didn't ever worry about providing the funding to build what they were promising. They just added it on.
The member for Dawson.
Added it on and never did it. I've just named 3 in his electorate that we delivered. The fact is that we have had to clean up the mess, like in so many areas, that the incompetent former government left.
Order. Members on my left. The member for Dawson was continually interjecting after he'd asked the question. We'll cease interjecting.